All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Infosession, March 5th, 2026. Very excited to have you guys here. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to arrive, and then we'll get started. We need some background music. I got to figure out how to do that. All right. Slowly kicking it off. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. We usually do these in person at our Fort Lauderdale and Tampa campuses, and now we're doing them online. Welcome to the 21st century of South Florida Academy of AC. So let me give everybody a few more minutes to jump in, and then we're going to get going talking about careers, jobs, air conditioning school, you name it. All right, let's see what we got here. Everything's looking good. All green lights on my side. Let's see here. Just check out how we're looking. Okay. Thanks, guys, for joining. If you're out there, go ahead and post a comment. Let me know you're watching so I know I'm not here talking to myself. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the comment. Let's give people one more minute and then we'll kick things off here. Thanks for jumping on. And hopefully we saved you the drive out to campus. Usually we do these on campus in Fort Lauderdale, on campus in Tampa, but we're trying to do some online just to save people the drive. And so we're trying the new platform. See how things pan out. We're also expanding to Orlando. We just got approval to open up our third campus in Orlando. So rather than me having to drive out to Tampa and Orlando and Fort Lauderdale every week to do these, hopefully can knock one out a month at least online so people from all campuses can come and check it out. All right, well, 6 o'clock. I'm going to get started. Let's go. Welcome to South Florida Academy of AC. I am very happy to have you here. We have an awesome school. We have awesome programs, and I cannot wait to tell you about it. We're going to talk about our school. We're going to talk about jobs. We're going to talk about how much money you can make. We're going to talk about careers in AC. We're going to talk about the demand right now for AC jobs. We're going to talk about going into business for yourself down the road if that's something that you're interested in. We're going to talk about what you get when you actually come through the school. So, after you go through the program, what do you actually leave with? What do you get when you finish our program? And then after that, we'll wrap up. If anybody has questions, you can throw them in the chat, and we'll talk about upcoming classes and how you'd be able to save a seat. All right. So let's kick things off. We are a technical school. We're in Florida. We're a Florida technical school teaching HVAC. We are the largest HVAC technical school in the state of Florida by number of graduates. And I'm very happy to say that we have expanded from not just Fort Lauderdale, which is where we've been doing classes since 2010, but now we're in Tampa, and we're in our almost coming up to our second year in Tampa. And we're going to be expanding to Orlando soon, which I'm super excited about. We're building out that campus right now, buying all new equipment and outfitting it. I think our first class is going to be like in May for Orlando. So very, very exciting stuff. So that's what we do. We teach HVAC. We don't teach anything else. I believe it's the best trade. I believe it's the best career opportunity right now compared to four-year colleges, different degrees, different fields. I don't think anything compares to HVAC. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how much money you can make and why it's so great. Let me actually kick things off with a video so you can see a little bit of what our school looks like. So if I can get this to play, then let's start there so you can kind of be a part of the fun. All right, give me 1 second while I pull this up and see if we can get this figured out. This is a video that we took a few months ago, and I think it does a nice job of showing our campus. So let's throw that up there, share screen, and there we go. Let's do it.
South Florida Academy of AC teaches complete installation, complete maintenance, and complete repair of residential and light commercial AC systems. The thing about South Florida Academy that makes us unique is we are extremely hands-on. So you can see behind me, guys are on the machines. We've got 24 AC units all around the room, and all day, every day, you are on the machine from morning till night, taking it apart, opening it up, diagnosing, repairing, fixing, replacing, putting it back together over and over again until you can do it in your sleep. That's exactly what we want, and that's what we're proud of. The reason why students love our school is because they want a trade where they know they can make money in a booming industry, and they want to get in, learn a skill, and get out. So because of the nature of our courses, how they're shorter, how they're very hands-on, we have guys and girls here who love learning by doing, and they don't want to be in school for 12 months or 18 months. They want to get in, they want to learn that skill, and they want to get onto the job force, start making money, and get on track to opening up their own business one day.
Our philosophy is that we want to get people jobs, so that what we do is we prepare them for a job interview. We're preparing them by giving them the training that they need. We're also preparing them by giving them their EPA certification, which is necessary to work in the air conditioning business because it's considered a hazardous material. The legacy is that we are the people that you go to get trained properly to get into the air conditioning business.
If someone's interested in the school and they want to get started, we recommend that you come to one of our info sessions. We do info sessions either every Saturday or every other Saturday right here at the school. Otherwise, give us a call and we can talk through all those details over the phone and get you signed up. And when you look at all of our reviews and our 5-star reviews, we're really proud of that. And we work hard every day to focus on the students, teach them the skills, do that job placement to earn those 5 stars.
All right, very cool. So glad you could see that, and that's what we're about. Kind of what you see is what you get. So in that classroom, you might have noticed a lot of machines, a lot of equipment, students on the machines. The room that you're sitting in where you're learning is actually the same room that's your lab. You know, at other schools, there's a classroom where you're reading books all day, and then on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, your instructor will say, okay, let's go down the hall to the lab and we're gonna practice what we've been learning. That's not how we do things. You're learning in the lab. You're on the machines probably for 6.5 hours a day. And that's one of the reasons why I think we can do our training so quickly, is because there's such a hands-on and such a hands-on component where you're on the machine so much. Okay, so I'm glad you watched that. You know, that's a little intro to the school, but I want to kind of jump right into things, and what I really want to talk about is money. I really want to talk about jobs. I want to talk about opportunities in HVAC. I want to talk about what it looks like out there, how much money you can make. I want to talk about what starting your own business looks like, if that's something that you decide to do in the future. Because, I mean, honestly, the number one reason why people come to the school, it's really not because they just love HVAC and they can't wait to study this interesting topic. It's really because they want to make money. They want to make money. They want a career with job security, stability, where they have a skill they can leverage for the rest of their life and use to make money in a lot of different ways. And if that's what you want, you've come to the right place. So as far as HVAC, right now it's a booming job market. I found this article and I wanted to share this too. Let me see if I can pull this up on the screen. This is an article by Andreessen Horowitz. They're a huge investor. They do a lot of venture capital investing, but they had an article recently just about the state of the U.S. economy. And I'm going to try and see if I can make this a little bigger so you can see. But they started talking about HVAC. And if you look here, where was it? What was it called? Infinite, they said? Here you go. So here's a quote. Let me blow that up so you can actually see it. Okay, let me scoot down. You still probably can't see it. There you go. Maybe you can see that. As explained in one job, our explosion of demand for data centers means there's infinite work for HVAC technicians. Right there. When I read that, I was like, oh man, we're in the right place. Infinite work for HVAC technicians because of all the data centers getting built. So that was pretty cool. I just wanted to throw that in today because that's new with what's going on. Even without data centers, there's incredible opportunity in the field. But now that all these data centers are going up, there's cooling, not just the comfort cooling of like the people working there wanting to feel, nice and comfortable, but the machines themselves and the servers all have to be cooled and stuff. And so I love how they say there's unlimited work for HVAC technicians. So that was awesome. But yes, the job market's booming for HVAC techs. The pay is pretty good. A lot of perks, companies hiring with benefits, PTO, 401ks, sick days. The pay scales for someone who's starting out, like it's their very, very first job out of school, probably looking at $20 an hour, but it ramps up very quickly. So even with just 6 months of experience, we're seeing people at $25 an hour, quickly getting to $30 an hour. And then as soon as, it's been a year and you're demonstrating that you know what you're doing, you're able to talk to customers, you're able to get jobs done, we see pay kind of stabilize at about $35 an hour. And the cool thing too is that a lot of the jobs have commission programs. So while you're in somebody's house fixing their AC, if you can get them to buy a UV light, or if you're able to sell them a new system, or if you're able to sell them an HVAC surge protector, your company might offer you a $50, $75, or $100, bonus for that extra sale that you did. So you might make, for a few hours of work, $35 an hour, once your pay stabilizes, and you could be getting bonuses, and they call them spiffs. A spiff is like a set fixed bonus for selling a particular item on top of that. So you can make a life off that, and once you learn that skill, you're a skilled tradesman and no one can take that away from you. Wherever you go in life, whatever you do, you can always fall back on that skill. And as we saw in this article, infinite work for HVAC techs, so it's not going anywhere. So that's nice. Not sure where you guys are in life, but for a lot of our students to be able to make, $70,000 to $100,000 a year with a very defined, like in-demand skill that's persistent and not getting taken over by AI, it's great. It's a great opportunity. But then we get students who want Lamborghini kind of money and like Ferrari level money. And the cool thing about HVAC is you can do that too. Like if you want to make Lamborghini level money, you can do that also. And the way that you do that is eventually having your own AC company. And you're not going to do it when you get right out of school, but after you get some experience, there's a pathway to getting your contractor's license. And with that, you can make a ton of money. And to kind of explain that, I really like to talk about like an individual job and like how the money works, because I think once you see how much money HVAC techs can really make, a little bit of a light bulb is going to turn on and you're going to realize like, wow, like there's a lot of money in this business. So for that, let me share the story of let me get this off my screen here. Don't need that. Okay. So for that, I want to talk about a capacitor. I run the school and I also own an HVAC company. And I would say of all of our service calls, 70%, if not more than 70%, are two things. It's drain line blowouts. If your HVAC system has ever stopped working, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the drain line that was clogged. You might have had someone come out to clear a drain line, and capacitors. And capacitors are one of the components of the machine. And it's like a little tiny battery. It stores a charge that, because the system is so powerful, when it gets the signal from the thermostat to turn on, it requires so much power that the power from the wall is not enough to actually get it to get going. So the capacitor holds an extra charge. And unlike a regular battery that discharges its power over a long period of time, the capacitor gives all the power in one big, like, boom. Okay, so it's that extra boost to get the system to start. But like any other battery, capacitors don't last forever. Over time, they don't hold as much of a charge as they used to. And when they don't hold enough charge to start that system, the system just won't start at all. It's not enough to get that motor going. And when that happens, what does a customer do? They pick up the phone and call their AC company. All right, so I would say that probably 30 to 40% of our calls are for capacitors. And the cool thing about that is that every single AC, first of all, every house in South Florida and Tampa, wherever you guys are watching from, every house has AC, every business has AC, and every single one of those AC systems has a capacitor. And all day long, every day, all across town, capacitors are going bad by the tens of thousands, keeping us in business. And when you go to someone's house to replace a capacitor, the entire replacement probably takes 6 or 7 minutes. It's connected by 3 wires. All you do is take off a panel, you disconnect 3 wires, you take the old capacitor, throw it out, grab a new one from the truck, put it in, connect 1, 2, 3 wires, and you're back in business. Anybody want to guess what the going rate for a capacitor is right now? I'll let you think to yourself and before I tell you the answer. Okay, the going rate to change a capacitor is about $450. And I've seen companies charging as high as $600 to change a capacitor. And we're talking about a 5-minute repair, 3 wires, disconnecting 3 wires, plugging in 3 wires. And companies, I'd say on average, are charging $450, but it's even higher than that. Now I'm really going to blow your mind. Let me show you how much capacitors cost. Okay, if you Google, HVAC capacitor, this is what it is. These are what we buy from the supply house. All right, I don't know if you can see that, but here's one, $8. Can you see that? $8.87, $3, $10, $34. That's for Train. Train tends to be, a little more sophisticated. But for the most part, at Home Depot, $20. And Home Depot is more highly priced. Like once you get into HVAC specific supply houses, the prices will be lower. So typically a capacitor, when we buy it as an HVAC tech, it's like a $10 to $15 part. And companies are out there selling capacitors installed for $400, $500, $600. And the repair is easy. I don't know if you can see this picture. Let's see if I can blow one up. I know I'm kind of blocking the screen a little bit, but if I blow this up here, not sure how well, yeah, you probably can't see that with my fat head in your way, but there's basically 2 wires, okay? And this one, there's 2 wires right there, 2 connections. So all you would do is disconnect 2 wires, throw out the old one, reconnect 2 wires on your $10 part, and you're charging people $400, $500, $600. So once you understand that there's that much money in this business, you're like, oh my gosh, like why am I waiting to go in? This is where I need to be. Like there's millions of dollars to be made, and there are millions of dollars to be made. And if you're working for a company, you're going to make your $25, $30, $35 an hour for that job. But once you own the company, then you get the $400, $500, $600. All right. So a lot of people come to our school because they know this is where you start. First, you got to get trained. You get out in the field, you start getting experience. And then once you've got experience, then there's a pathway to getting your contractor's license so you can have your own HVAC company. And what we want you to do is we want you to come back to the school, hire our students who are graduating, and then have them work for you. And you have them out in the field, and they're the ones that are actually changing the capacitors, and you're paying them $20, $25, $30, $35 an hour, but you're the one keeping the $400, $500, $600 when the customer pays for that capacitor. So that's how the business goes and how the business runs, and that's why people get so excited about this field. So I just wanted to share this thing about the capacitor because I think it's a really good example of how much money there is in this business and how the repairs overall, they're really not that complicated. Like I said, we're really not repairing this capacitor. All we have to do is replace it. We just need to know how do we detect if it's bad? How do we diagnose it? And then once we've figured out that it's bad, how do we actually replace it? We're not teaching you how to cut it open and put more chemicals inside or anything like that. So it's pretty simple repairs and a lot of money at that. All right, so that's let me get this off my background here. So that's a bit about the world of HVAC. Okay, so we operate a few beautiful campuses. We operate Fort Lauderdale, that's been around we're going on 16 years now. And I think if you look up our reviews in Fort Lauderdale, I think we still have an average of literally 5.0 stars with over 1,000 reviews. And Tampa, we just started last year. We don't have as many reviews. I think we're at about 100 reviews so far. But I think also in Tampa, I think we've gotten 5 stars from every single person. I think it's also an average of 5.0 stars. So super proud of the program. Let me talk about the program a little bit. It's a 4-week program. All right. We do it in 2 varieties. One variety is Monday through Friday. Okay. And that goes from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The reason why we stop at 4 is because then everybody can leave at 4. And if you want to stay till 5, you can. So that's an opportunity to ask questions of the instructors, stay and get extra practice on the equipment. But we wrap up the training for the day at 4 o'clock in case you're all done and you just want to go home. So that's the full-time program. That's Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 for 4 weeks. The other variety that we do is a weekend version. So the weekend version is also 4 weeks. It's Saturdays and Sundays, and that one is from 9 to 5. So you do need to stay that last hour until 5 o'clock. But so that program is still 4 weeks, but it's only on the weekend. So it's only 2 days a week, unlike the full-time program, which is 5 days a week. All right. And the reason why we're able to do it so quickly is a few things. Is number one, we are super, super hands-on. When you come in the classroom, and if any of you are interested, I invite you to stop by a class and just kind of watch. You'll see it's intense. Like, it's not like an instructor's up there reading boring material and everyone's falling asleep at their desk. I mean, people are engaged, they're shouting, they're answering questions. We've got guys on the machines for hours and hours. They're opening it up and fixing stuff and putting them back together and ripping all the wires out and putting everything back. And when you're learning like that, like with your hands all day for hours and hours every single day, we find that you learn really quickly. So that's one of the ways that we make it short. The other way that we make it short is we do cut out some curriculum that we just feel, in our experience of doing this for 16 years, is just not critical to getting the job. For instance, like EPA, for example. So at other schools, they might spend 2 entire months, like 2.5 entire months just studying EPA. We just cover that in an hour every day in the afternoons, and it's enough to get you it's enough to get you to pass the test. It's enough to get you that certification, and then once you get that certification, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Now you're certified. So it's just a different philosophy of how we approach things. We really approach things with what is most critical and what's most important to actually get the job, start your career, and where do we not need to spend weeks and weeks of time covering material that's really not for your benefit. And our philosophy is, let's get you graduated and get you out working. Like if you can do a 4-week program and then after that get a job, when you get on the job, you're going to continue learning a lot. And we know that. And that's good. That's what we want. We want you to continue your learning once you get that job. But when you get the job, now you're getting paid. Now you're getting experience. It's on your resume. Now the clock is ticking so that if you want to start your own company, you need a certain amount of time of experience to do that. Well, school doesn't count as experience, but being on a job does. So why would we want to keep you in school for 12 months? Let's get you 1 month of fantastic, hands-on, intensive foundational experience, enough to get you that first job, and then take the learning from there. And by the way, and it doesn't matter whether you go to our school or a 12-month program, no AC company is hiring somebody right out of school and putting them in a van all by themselves, sending them to customer sites. It doesn't happen. No matter what school you go to or where you learn, you're going to be the number 2 guy, meaning that you're going to be sitting in the passenger seat with the senior technician, watching him, shadowing him. So the way that we've perfected this, I think it's a really smart approach where we've said, okay, let's take the most critical stuff, the refrigeration cycle, charging, vacuuming, recovering refrigerant. Let's understand all of the electrical. Let's understand how to copper braze. Let's cover all the troubleshooting, how to fix systems. Let's cover all the motors and mechanical elements. Let's put that all together and let's get people jobs. And once you get a job, Where you take it's up to you. If you want to specialize at that point in a specialized part of HVAC like data centers or refrigeration, which is like Publix freezers, like supermarket freezers, you can do that. But I don't want to keep you in school for 12 months trying to teach you everything under the sun. Like I'm going to, teaching you about data centers and refrigeration and furnaces and boilers and chillers and coolers. It's like, let's just get you a job. That's our class. Like when you come and sit in our class, it's people who want to work. It's people, the average age is usually a little bit older. It's people with bills to pay, families to feed, and they can't take 12 or 14 months off to be in school. They want to get in, learn that skill, get out and start working, and we love that. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about what you actually get when you come through our program. So what you get when you come through our program, you get a few different things. Number one is obviously you get the education. Repair, service, maintenance, installation of residential, light commercial AC machines. That's what we teach. And we give in my opinion, a fantastic education with fantastic information. I think we teach you really well. And if you look at our reviews, I think the reviews are a testament to that. So that's number one. Number two is you get your diploma, your trade school diploma. And the value of the diploma is that now when you go apply for jobs, you're not just coming in off the street. You're going and you're saying, hey, I've been taught. I know how to do this. Because if you're coming in off the street with no knowledge, they're going to have to invest in you and training you from scratch. And a lot of companies don't want to do that because they know it's a competitive job market. And if they invest in you, they know that in 6 months' time, you could leave for a company that's offering to pay you $2 an hour more. So it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to get a job in this business if you haven't been trained. So that's what getting the diploma does. By having your diploma, having that on your resume, saying, yes, I was trained, I did go to technical school, I'm ready to work. So you're starting. So with our program, you get the knowledge, you get the diploma, you get something called your EPA certificate. The EPA certificate, it's a federal certificate that you have to have. You have to be federally certified to be in this business. The good news about it is it's good in all 50 states and it never expires. So once you have it forever. You can work anywhere in the country. And so you get that as part of our program. Next is you get tools. So when you finish, we give you a set of tools, manifold gauges, multimeter, capacitor meter, hand tools, all the things you'll need to show up on that job, that job site, on day one. So you get tools through our program. You get access to a helpline. So the next thing you get is access to a helpline. When you graduate, we give you a phone number that if you're ever on a job and you get stuck or you forget, we all know what it's like. You learn something in school, you feel confident, but then you walk into a real life setting and immediately it's like everything you completely forgot. Everything just flies out of your head. You don't even know where to start. You start breathing heavy. The customer's looking over your shoulder. You're sweating. You're freaking out. You don't know what to do. So we say, don't call your boss and look stupid. Call us. The instructors will walk you through that repair. We call that the AC helpline. So if you're on a job, if you get stuck, call us and we'll say, okay, text us some pictures, show us what you're looking at, show us the label, the nameplate, like the model number and what type of refrigerant it is, and text us some pictures of your pressures and your temperatures, et cetera, and we'll walk you through the repair. So you also get access to the helpline. Another important thing that we do is you get access to something called the AC All-Stars program, which I'm not going to talk about too much tonight, but if you are interested, I can put you in touch with the guy who runs this program. But the AC All-Stars program is available to South Florida Academy of AC graduates, and it's a way for you to sort of have more independence with your career before you're ready to get your own contractor's license. So let me quickly make a statement about this. If you do want to run your own business, if you want to have your own AC business, you need a contractor's license to do it. If you want to do it legally, which is what I recommend, you need to have a contractor's license. Depending on your background, you might need as much as 4 years of experience. In addition to passing the contractor's exam, and in addition to getting insurance and bonding and fingerprinting and a lot of paperwork, it's not easy to get your contractor's license. And not the least of which is that it can require up to 4 years of experience. But we have this program called AC All-Stars. It's run by a friend of the school named Steve. He's an AC contractor, and the deal that he makes is he says, if you graduate South Florida Academy of AC, so I know that you were trained, I know you know what you're doing, and you get 1 year of work experience, not 4 years like it's required for the contractor's license, but just 1 year of work experience, he will hire you at his AC company, okay? And he will put you on a 90% commission program, which is kind of unheard of in this industry. But it basically means that if you changed a capacitor and you charged $500, you would get $450, right? And $50 would go to Steve and his company. So it's a way for people to make a lot more money rather than just making $25 or $30 an hour. It's a way for them to make a lot more money before they have their contractor's license, because that's what happens when you have your contractor's license. You do make a lot more money, but it can take a few years until you're ready to do that. So AC All-Stars is an interesting program. Happy to put you in touch with Steve. When the time is right, you can ask him questions directly. Basically, he has his contractor's license. You're his W-2 employee. You work for him. You're on his workers' comp. You're under his license. The only thing is that you have to find your own customers. He doesn't provide you with customers. But when you find the customers and you do jobs for them, you keep 90%, he keeps 10. So it's kind of a neat program. So that's another thing you get with this school. Okay, so going back to the list, you get the knowledge, installation, maintenance, repair of residential, light commercial AC systems. You get the diploma, the trade school diploma. You get the EPA certification. You get tools when you graduate. You get the AC helpline. You get access to the AC All-Stars program. And finally, job placement assistance. So we wouldn't be a very good school if you graduated and we just said, okay, see ya, good luck. We do a ton of work to help get our students jobs. We create a resume by hand for every single graduate. We're emailing and sending those resumes to hundreds of contractors with your name, phone number, picture, resume. And we also hold job events too, where we bring companies into the school to have companies interview our students directly. Every week I have a girl, one of her tasks is that she finds jobs that have been posted locally and she emails them to our graduates, like a few every week, and says, apply to these now, following up with you, like, did you get a job yet? And as long as you haven't, she's going to keep emailing you these job opportunities, telling you to apply to them until you do. We also do letters of recommendation, phone calls of recommendation. Like if there's a company you really want to work at, sometimes I've been known to call the hiring manager directly. I don't know everybody in the business, but if there's a company you really like, say, hey, Adam, I really want to work at this one HVAC company. They're right by my house. It would be perfect. I'm happy to call them and say, hi, my name's Adam Ross, the executive director of South Florida Academy of AC. I had a fantastic student who I'd really like to recommend. Can I speak to the hiring manager? Sometimes that can make a difference. So we do everything that we can to help get people jobs. So we call that the job placement assistance. So all of those things are what you get with the school: the knowledge, the diploma, the EPA certification, the tools, access to the AC helpline. I always forget. I always get lost in this list. AC All-Stars, the job placement assistance. And finally, I like to mention something that sometimes people laugh at a little bit, but I think there really is value to it. And that's the people that you meet in the program. And there is a lot of value to that, because if you start a career in HVAC, which by the way is very difficult to do without training. I'm not even sure, if someone would be successful. I don't think they would even be able to get the job in the first place. But if you were somehow able to get a job without coming to our school and the job doesn't work out, maybe you don't like your boss, maybe they fire you, who knows, you're kind of all alone. You don't really have anywhere to turn. You don't have any resources, connections, friends in the industry. So it can fizzle out, just like that. But the great thing about the school is that when you're in class with 20 people or 25 people, you spend that time together with each other and you get to know one another. And when you guys all graduate, you all disperse into different AC companies. So if you end up getting a job and you don't like it, and you say your boss is not very nice, or he's not giving you good hours, or whatever, you want to make a change, you can just text the 20, 25 people from your class, say, hey, I'm working over at XYZ AC company. they're not treating me very well. Are any of you guys hiring? Are any of you guys doing anything interesting? And you'll see guys will chime in the group chat, be like, oh yeah, we're hiring like crazy over here, like come join us, like I can put in a good word, I'll hook you up. So having that group of all those people that you went to school with can be so valuable with your career, not only in the short term, but then also in the long term. I mean, maybe you want to start your own AC company one day and you're looking for a partner, you're looking for employees. Having all those people that you know them, you know the quality of their work, their reputation, like, there's a lot of value to that. And then one more benefit, okay, I have to mention this too. The other benefit is you're going to save so much money never having to pay for AC work again, right? Every time your capacitor goes bad, your drain line gets clogged, now you know how to fix it. So every call that's like $400, $500 that you'll be able to save because you don't have to call an AC company. So there's a lot of benefits to this program, not the least of which is that it's really a lot of fun. The reason why guys leave such good reviews, and I think we have the reviews that we do, is because it's a really fun, really great program. We promise a lot. We do. We make big promises. Like on these calls, we make big promises. But when you come into our class and you see how we run things, you see that we actually deliver. We follow through with our promises, and we work our butts off as instructors and as a school and a team every day to earn those 5 stars and make sure that everybody gets a 5-star experience with a great education, great exit opportunities. So that's what we're about. Okay. With that said, let me jump and talk about the upcoming classes. So I'm going to get rid of my face for a second. I'm sure you guys can handle seeing with not my face for a minute. Okay, so these are our upcoming classes. In our Fort Lauderdale campus, we are currently running our full-time class. All right, so that's the March 2nd class, and that's active right now. If somebody wants to come by and see it in person and like shadow a day, maybe not a whole day, but for like 30 minutes or an hour, I'd be more than happy to do that. Just call us up and let us know you want to come by. I'd be happy to let you slide in and kind of preview it and watch before you sign up for class, because I'm that confident that you're going to love the program. But the next full-time start date that we have is June 1st. All right, so that's June 1st of this year, and that goes for 4 weeks. The next weekend class that we have in Fort Lauderdale is going to be May 2nd. All right, so that's May 2nd, also running for 4 weeks. That's on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, from 9 until 5, Saturday and Sunday for 4 weeks, from May 2nd through May 31st, which is 4 weeks later. If you are viewing right now from the Tampa area and you're interested in Tampa classes, we do have a Tampa class starting very soon. It's our first one of the year. It's on March 16th. I think we're filling up fast, but I do think we still have spots. So that class would be the next available full-time at Tampa. That's on March 16th, Monday through Friday, going for 4 weeks. And that goes, like I mentioned before, from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. every day. And then there's that flex hour from 4 to 5 if you want to stay for that extra hour for extra time on the machines, extra practice, want to ask questions of the instructors from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., you're welcome to do that. But technically it ends at 4 o'clock, so if you need to leave at 4, that's fine. So that's the full-time class in Tampa, March 16th. The next weekend class in Tampa is February 14th. Oh, I'm sorry, we just finished that one. So that one's actually finishing March 8th, so it's finishing this Sunday. So the next weekend class in Tampa that we have is going to be May 9th, and like always, that's going to run for 4 weeks. Okay? All right, so those are our class dates. If you want to reserve a seat, if you have any questions, anything you want to do, what I would recommend doing is calling us. So how do we pull up our phone number? I'm looking at our website right now. I don't even know where we might need to add this to our website. For some reason, I can't find the phone number. Yeah, okay, you can write this down. Oh, there it is. It's way at the bottom. All right, if you go to our website, sfaac.com, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see it down here. Have questions, call us now. Okay, that 954-708-1585. That's the phone number. Probably Kathy is going to pick up. She's an admissions rep. She's fantastic. If you want to speak to me directly, that's fine. Just tell her that you'd like to speak with Adam, and if I'm available, I'll be happy to take the call myself. Okay, and you can ask questions about dates, payments, anything you need, we're here for you. And I mean that. Call us with anything you want. We pick up the phone and give information because we want you to make the right decision for you. And I think it's a fantastic program. I think that you're going to love it, but I do want to make sure it's the right decision for you. As far as the cost of the program, I recommend that you call us and we talk about that. Depending on your situation, depending on if you have money, don't have money, if you're unemployed, we have some students who are in difficult life situations, some students who might be homeless or, between homes, different things. We have different options. All right. There's a lot of different options to pay, and whether it's through grant, it's not really a scholarship, it's a grant. So whether it's through grants, whether it's through payment plans, there's a lot that we can do to get you in the class. And I really like to say that if you want to take this class, if you're interested in it, then I want to find a way to be able to get you there. Whatever we have to do, I want to be in the business of creating great futures and opportunities for people. So what I would say is call us. Let's understand your situation. We can talk about what the tuition is and how we're going to get you there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. There's like a 10-second delay, so I'm going to have to sit here like an idiot for 10 seconds while I'm waiting for anybody to put questions in. But does anybody have any questions? I'll wait. If you guys do, I'm happy to answer them. All right, I don't see, this delay is terrible because it's like a 10 or 15 second delay, but I think I still have to wait another second till you guys hear what I said. All right, well, I don't see any questions in the chat. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up. Here's what I have to say about the program. It's a lot of fun. I don't know anything else like it. I don't know any other programs like it that combine the hands-on element, the intensity of what we do, the excitement of what we do, the job opportunities that exist in this field, the ability to make really good money working for somebody else, but also have that opportunity to go into business for yourself. I think it's an incredible mix, and I highly recommend it, and I stand by it. Like I said, if you want to come by and shadow an actual class, call us. Be happy to let you walk in and talk to you personally while I'm there. I live close to the Fort Lauderdale campus, so I can come and meet you in person. If you want Tampa, I'm not there every day, but if I am in the area, I'd love to come by and meet you personally. But if you want to sign up for class, I don't think you're going to regret it. I think you're going to be thrilled. If you like working with your hands, if you like making money, and if you're hungry to start a new career and start a new life, this is the school. Okay, guys? So that's it. Have a great night. You can call us. It's that number on the website that I gave you, 954. Oops, that's not it. There it is. 954-708-1585. Okay. Oh, finally, the delay's over. I finally got a question. What does that say? Do you guys accept VA benefits? Yes, we do. We do accept VA benefits. Thank you for asking. Now, it depends on your level and depends what you have, but broadly speaking, I think it's called Chapter 33, post 9/11 VA benefits. Yes, we do accept those. Depending on how much benefits you have, it might cover up to the entire cost of the program, but you can call us and we can figure it out and see what your situation is. Okay, that's a very good question. I always forget to mention that, but we do accept VA benefits. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great night, and I hope to see you in class. Anything you need, call us. We're here for you.